Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to ETRealty. I am Ankit Sharma, and today we have with us Girish Goenka, CFO Piramal Realty, and Anup Mathew, Executive Vice President and Business Head, Godrej Construction. Thank you, Anup. Thank you, Girish, for joining us. Okay, in the last 1 or 2 years, how have you seen the demand? How have you seen the real estate moving in the real estate sector? We have seen a lot of demand in the luxury segment, but as a company, how have you seen this demand growing, and where do you think it is headed?
I think, Ankit, it's a well-known fact now, post-COVID, what has happened, the demand for houses have started going up. Year on year, the prices have also gone, and in this industry, while the prices have gone up, the demand also have gone up. Also, what has happened, pre-COVID, there was a trend of the houses size shrinking. But post-COVID, what we have seen, the sizes are increasing. People are feeling the need of the bigger houses. And that's why the designs are happening versus keeping this in mind. Also, one of the important factor what we have seen now, earlier people were more looking at standalone buildings and all, but now people have started looking for a inclusive housing, wholesome housing, where all kind of amenities, whatever can be provided, they are looking within that gated community itself. No, they need not go out of their common compound wall, and everything that can be provided outside. Next few years, I see, and I feel that the real estate sector, especially the resi sector, is doing good. It would be strong. The numbers, the inflows, the market, what we see, I think it's a promising one. There could be some minor hiccups in between, but I see a very promising future, at least for next few years in the real estate, especially the residential sector.
Anup.
Yeah, so we have also experienced on similar lines the demand from customers has been positive and growing. We've also seen that there is a growing realization that people wanted larger apartments and what was a pre-COVID syndrome is no longer. In fact, people have realized that probably the home is the place they would like to invest in and see the benefits for the whole of the family much more than what earlier it was a ticket size concept, and now they are more looking at it from a long-term perspective, and that's been good, and it's actually helped the industry also to bring products which are more appropriate rather than trying to build to a ticket size as was being done earlier.
From a construction material point of view, sustainability has been talked about a lot, and SEBI has brought in BRSR code. Government is pushing for carbon neutrality. How do you see the companies, the raw materials, the builders? How open are they to this, bringing their carbon emission down, taking the kind of products that are required to bring those products down, even if the cost is high? How are you looking at this construction material industry moving and the cost of raw material prices?
Yeah, so I think it's a very relevant question. Construction materials contribute both in the form of the choice of materials, and the choice of design that we have has an impact on the operating costs and the operating impact from a sustainability perspective. But it also has an impact on the embodied carbon. And so therefore, when you choose the materials, it's important to look at a life cycle, a life cycle approach, and you're looking at not just trying to design to meet an initial cost, but through the life cycle of the building, is it going to be sustainable? And this is increasingly we've seen for most of our corporate clients. We find that they are quite informed, and most of the reputed clients who are multinational especially are very particular that they get into buildings which are green buildings, which they realize the benefits are significant on an ongoing basis. But for retail customers, I think the willingness to pay a high premium probably is not so evident. But given all things being equal, they are happy to pay a minor increment or probably see if it compares, and they will choose a product which is a more sustainable product. But I think that also will change over a period of time. Maybe the corporate clients is a little more informed and understands things from a scientific analysis point of view. Individual customers vary because of the data may not be entirely available with them.
Girish, as a builder, how financially viable it is to build a green building or build a carbon neutral building, especially considering the fact that after 5 years you have to hand over it to RWA, and they may or may not want to maintain the same kind of aspects to it. So return on investment, financial viability. Do you think as a builder you want to develop this kind of buildings?
I think it's a very valid question, Ankit, what you asked. So I think IGCV norms largely currently what I see is largely applicable more on a commercial side, and the customers also more on the commercial are willing to pay a higher amount in the form of price and also in the form of rentals. A building which is LEED platinum certified or a gold certified. The trend right now, it's not very much in the residential sector, but it is moving. Right now, we are getting inquiries when the customer comes in, like what kind of sustainability products, sustainable products you have used. And when you come out, so that's a trend which is moving, and I would really appreciate this trend to come up like the way it is caught up in the commercial segment. If it comes in the residential segment, I think carbon neutral over a period of time, everything. I think this is one thing what we have to give back to the society, and as real estate residential a prominent player, I think this is where we would really appreciate things to move on. It will happen over a period of time, but I think we are at a very initial stage. As far as the customer is concerned, they are not, as rightly said by Mathew, right now the customers are not very much inclined in paying some extra bucks towards this IGCV norms for the residential sector. But we see people inquiring about it right now. At least that awareness has started coming in, and that gives me a promising trend that in future maybe people will start and understanding the importance of this and start paying some little higher bucks. Maybe we may not make profit on it, but at least whatever the cost is incurred, at least if that can be shelled by the customer or borne by the customer, I think we'd be very much happy to look into that.
But is it financial viable for you?
Right now, sustainability, I think largely some aspects we are definitely doing, like solar power, the windows using DGU windows and all, and sourcing the material from the local areas to the extent possible. To certain extent we are doing, to the extent we can, definitely we are doing it. Wholly and solely it is not viable.
And as a products that you procure or the products that you build in India, do you think the kind of global standards that are there and the kind of Indian standards that are there, would you be willing to develop this, manufacture these products here, and in comparison to that, and if you are buying or importing those products from outside, does it make sense to make it more viable, especially considering the kind of products that are required may not get that kind of clientage that is required?
So, I mean, I would say, 20 years back, we had to import most of the materials, and especially the green building fixtures, and these were not manufactured in India. So there was a significant cost differential, maybe up to 15-20%. We don't see that differential being as much now. It's a much it depends, of course, on at which level you're. If it's a platinum building, it may cost a little more, but an incremental cost is not very significant, and most of the corporate clients are willing to pay that premium, because we command that premium not just because it's a green building, but it's also because the quality of the asset that you bring in overall.
Building used to last over 100 years, and they are historical monuments in India which are more than 200 years old. Now after 40 years, buildings are collapsing, buildings are seeing cracks. This is private builders, this is government buildings, these are independent houses. Every building, the age has come down to 40-50 years. How much is it responsibility of builders, how much is it responsibility of the construction materials, structure engineers, architects, and why we are seeing this kind of things when we have the same kind of products, or we have better products, better technologies that are come up, and they are buildings which were developed that many years ago and they are still lasting? And both of you, and I need your answers. Girish.
So I think, Ankit, there are a lot of players in the market. We have premium players, like the key players who are there, and there are mid-segment players, and there are players who are at like low-segment players who are there. I think if you see all the key players, they are having brands since years, 100 of years, 50 years, 25 years. I don't think you will find this trend with this set of builders and developers in this industry. Right now, also the material what we source, our best of the quality material what we source, the best of the technology is being imported. And we try to see that the safety norms, the quality norms are to the highest level. There are certain people who are competing at a very low prices. There, this challenges would be there. But from our side, whatever best is possible from our side, the best of the designs. So, if you see players like us, we are very much concerned about the quality, about the safety, about the sustainability of the product. And I don't think we compromise even 1% on the quality aspects on that side. So I don't see this kind of problem largely would be coming on that side. And also what I was referring to is authorities are also taken the cognizance of that. The RERAs mentions that 10-year at least lifetime guarantee for the structure, 5 years for the waterproofing and all those kind of things are coming up. Again to repeat, our focus is largely that durable product, sustainable product, better quality, best quality product to be offered to the customers, and that's what we live in for, and that's what we try to deliver.
Anup.
Yeah, I don't think this is a matter of technology. Technology has improved. It's the execution. And it's quite true that there are different players in the market. And clearly, the bigger developers would not want to lose their reputation. So nobody will tinker with that to just get some extra advantage and financial advantage. The risk to the reputation is far greater. So it's possible that some of the smaller developers who are not very experienced may choose to do something which may have some limited advantage for a initial period. But anybody who wants to be a long-term player cannot afford to design with an intent to try and keep it for a short-term advantage and losing the long-term if you're wanting to be a key player in the industry. So while it may be true that some of the buildings have started giving way much earlier than it should be, but it's also the quality of materials, the technology, has really today there are a lot of options today, and it can be designed. It's another matter that sometimes buildings outlive the very original intent. So something was designed in a certain way, now people want more contemporary design, in which case people may redo, or a need for a zone has changed from something to something, in which case buildings may be demolished. But it doesn't have to be that buildings have to fall apart in 5, 10, and 20 or 30 years. It can be designed, and it is normally designed. There are codes which are very clearly stringent in terms of this, and plus the regulator also plays a role in this.
Okay. Thank you, Anup. Thank you, Girish. Thank you for
Thanks,
joining us. Thank you, everyone.